can get what they want accomplished. That's not fair. It's not fair to just do this for your college app, to go out and do whatever you want because it'll help you. We need to consider the students. That's what we're running on. It's the fact that we have a constituency that we're responsible to. And all posts, in Christoph's post in the class of 2018 group, you saw how you took these elections as a joke. You started criticizing our campaign. You criticized our campaign for trying to campaign on things we've actually done. To trying to steal credit for things like the sophomore freeze. These aren't issues that we think people should be fighting about. You can continue to persist and negatively campaign. That's not simply not what our campaign is about. We're running a positive campaign, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
Thank you, Kevin. 1 minute 30 each.
All right, moving back to a more general questions for all three of the candidates. What will you be doing about the removal of the AP waiver?
Okay, so Chowdhury.
Wait, can we start from the other side because we've been starting
I mean, I've been doing it alphabetically, but.
Yeah, I know, but.
Anna and Kevin, do you guys want to start off with this one? About the AP waiver? Okay.
So, as you all know, I'm an observer on the SLT at pretty much every meeting this year. So I can tell you firsthand that the Ms. Zhang has heard the concerns of the students. So right now they're working on an appeals program. So how this is going to work is they're working with the guidance counselor's office so that if students want to take more APs than they're allowed to go to their guidance counselor, fill out a form, and get the appeals to go through. It's very similar to what we already had in process with the parents. The only difference is this time, rather than going to your parents, we go to the guidance counselor. The idea being that a guidance counselor has better judgment in deciding whether or not a student should take an AP. And Ms. Zhang herself is already sympathetic to individuals who have things like they're forced to take an AP because they have to take third year of a language, so they're forced to take AP Spanish or AP Mando. So there are already things like that for the most immediate issues. In terms of long term, there's already a process in place that we've been working with Ms. Zhang on, making sure that students can go to their guidance counselors. No one who deserves to have an AP should have that taken away simply because they messed up 1 year, or because they're very good at science and they messed up in English, so now their average is lower. Any student who wants a further education should be able to. That's what Stuyvesant is about. That's what makes the school so great, that students can take whatever they want to do and be great at it. We want to make sure that under our administration, students can in fact do that.
Again, I see how failed to communicate this idea to the student body. Constantly on Facebook, my friends, classmates, everyone is worried about this process. It hasn't been communicated to the student body. People aren't aware of it. And they're frantically prompting their friends instead of the student union about what has been done to solve this issue.
Thank you. Okay. So now, Paul, same question, ready, go.
Okay, so our policy concerning AP waivers would be to involve the PTA, since the PTA can directly link us to parents, and parents are a powerful voice to the school, and because parents can put pressure on the school to get them to influence AP testing policy, and also because since the PTA can be a direct bridge between us and parents, we can use parents to help voice student concerns to the school.
So basically, our platform will closely associate with the PTA, working with parents. Because parents are the key to solving problems in our school. Thank you.
Thank you. Ready, go.
All right. So the appeals program that Kevin was talking about was mentioned 2 SLT meetings ago by Ms. Pepperidge, and after that, they decided not to do it at this next SLT meeting because there wasn't enough complaints from the students about it. Of course, there's clearly an issue about this, so I think if we bring this up and we make it clear that there's actually an issue, we'll be able to solve something. We'll be able to create something to solve the issue. So we're going to create. We're definitely support this. This isn't a promise that we're going to make, but we're going to work to pretty much establish a task force that will work to get AP waivers back, or at least establish an appeals program.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll do responses in the same order. Anytime a candidate is called out, they get an extra turn to speak. Maximum of 2 responses per candidate. 1 minute, 30 seconds. Uspitsky and Budrum. Ready, go.
So currently we have the student leadership team. We don't need the PTA to get involved. We want to have a self-contained student government where students coordinate everything. We don't want the involvement constantly of parents and the administration. We want to create our own government run by the students for themselves.
Yeah, so while we definitely think that was an innovative idea bringing in the PTA, it's something not talked enough about at our school, so we commend you on that. It's really just not necessary for this issue. Ms. Zhang has been very open to helping the students in regards to AP waivers or whatever policy needs to be to make sure that the students are happy. It was brought up at the last SLT meeting. Ms. Pembroke brought it up briefly about how, again, like Justine said, I will say that they don't feel as large of a concern now because they've already taken measures to expand Ms. Zhang's initial criteria for receiving an immediate waiver, which are things like your average is lower because of a specific class, or it's lower because of a specific grade, or you're forced into an AP so you lose a slot. So she's been expanding how much she's willing to give students grant a waiver on her own. So that's why the importance of the AP waiver program is lessening. But we still are going to continue working with the Confederate as we have been on finding information on what's going on in the SLT. Thank you.
Thank you. Austin Barnett. 1 minute 30 seconds. Ready? Go.
So this is the problem with our school. Everyone is pointing fingers at each other. Don't copy. This is not how democracy works. But true democracy is when we unite together. We solve problems instead of pointing fingers, like I'm doing right now. All three tickets here wish for the best for our school. We shouldn't be fighting like this. We should all be working together, hearing from all of you, deciding what problems to solve, deciding the solutions to our problems, and then end all the problems once and for all. Thank you.
Matthew and Justine, no response? Okay. One more general question, and then we'll move into. Okay. So this is going to lead into sort of a platform advertisement, but the question is, how would your ticket benefit us and the rest of the Stuyvesant community better than the others? So you have 1 minute and 30 seconds to think of the best answers for that question. We'll be going this way for that. So, starting with Austin. The question was, how would your ticket benefit us and the rest of the Stuyvesant community better than the others? Okay? So 1 minute and 30 seconds. Ready, go.
First of all, we're an entirely new voice in the school. Nobody will expect us to run. But that's the key. We're not career politicians. We're just regular students. We already did 1,000 interviews in our school, within every grade. It takes a lot of effort, and we plan on continuing to do this after we win. Because this is how a government should work. Leaders should go into the crowds, ask for opinions, ask what the people would need, what the people want. That's how policies should be made. We shouldn't be making up based on what we think, but rather what all of you think. And that's the key.
Sitkin Boudreaux. 1 minute, 30 seconds. Ready, go.
Alright. So we think that the most important part of our platform is the fact that you can actually believe in what we're saying. Looking at what we've done over the course of the year with the sophomore freeze, the automatic paper towel dispensers, working on the homework policy, you know that you can trust us because we've been fighting, even though we don't have something to put down our college app. We're not here because we just want something, we want a special title. We're here because we honestly care. We've never accepted a salary for what we do. We're just here because we want to help the students. Furthermore, when you look at some of our other candidates up here who ran in the past, you see that they promised things like a locker trading system, they promised things like being able to go out on the 5th floor balcony, and have all failed to follow up on their promises. Even though we haven't been in the SU, we've still been doing our best to serve the students, and that's why you know we can actually trust our platform. Furthermore, we want to make sure that we have a long-term solution, which is something that the other platforms don't have, which is we want to reform the Constitution so that we increase transparency and through making sure that we get students involved in the political process. Once you understand what the SU does, they'll have incentive to actually take part in the SU, and that serves as the greatest accountability council that any government can have. And in addition to our long-term plans that no other platform has, we also have short-term plans.
Well, all of our campaigns stress the importance of increasing representation of the student body in the student union. Except all the campaigns up here have failed to mention the absence of women in student, the lack of representation of women in student government. For over 4 years, the student union has not been run by by a female. And we think this is, I think this is a great issue because, oh.
That's not bad. Yeah. Thank you. Same question. 1 minute 30 seconds. Ready? Go.
So over the course of this year, we've been looking into the problems that have faced the student union for the past X amount of years, as far as I can remember. We've really recognized what's wrong, and now we have the plans to fix it. We're willing to get input from all students that are willing and wanting to help us make these reforms. We're also opening up lines of communication with the student forum organizations, as well with other schools around the city. I'm going to use what I learned at the Borough Student Advisory Council as its president to align ourselves with the best high schools in New York City so that we can see their solutions to similar problems that we also face. Also, what Tassine and I have is a willingness to contribute to a goal that's larger than our own. It's right that the fifth floor balcony is a project that is going to take potentially many SUs because of such a bureaucratic system that the New York Battery Park City Park Department puts us through. However, we're willing to continue our effort and to contribute to a goal that's larger than either of ourselves. That's right.
Thank you. Okay. So again, 1 minute 30 seconds. Responses, questions. Same rules as before. Ready? Go.
I'd like to thank Tassine and Matthew for going so in depth about their platform, but it raises this question, which is, why didn't they reform before? And why are they only doing it now?
So let's just say the fifth floor platform. I've been hearing it ever since I'm a freshman. Nothing has changed. You can't go outside. People still want to go outside. Nothing has changed. You can't use the excuse of saying it's hard. There's problems. There's obstacles. Well, if it's so hard for you, maybe you should give the chance to someone else. Damn. Well, we need to give chances to everyone.